Today we're going to talk about something called the Dr. Fox effect. It's this wild psychological idea that shows just how easily our perception can be tricked by style, often at the complete expense of substance. Seriously, think about it. Have you ever been to a talk, maybe a conference, or even just watched a flashy presentation online, and you walked away thinking, wow, that was amazing. But then, maybe an hour later, someone asks you what you learned and you just draw a total blank. Yeah, that feeling, that is exactly what we're getting into today. So, to really get what the Dr. Fox effect is all about, we have to go back to where it all started. The story begins with a really clever experiment and one very convincing performer. Okay, picture this. It's 1970. The setting is the University of Southern California's School of Medicine. And the audience? This isn't just a bunch of college kids. No. We're talking about a room packed with psychiatrists, psychologists, and educators. Basically, doctors and PhDs. People who are literally trained to think critically. And who are they all here to see? The one and only Dr. Myron L. Fox. He's billed as this major authority on something called mathematical game theory. He's got the fancy credentials, he looks super smart. This guy is the absolute picture of an expert. So the lecture begins, Dr. Fox takes the stage, but right from the get-go, something is a little off. His topic is, wait for it, mathematical game theory as applied to physician education. What does that even mean, right? And that was exactly the point. The researchers picked this totally nonsensical, jargon-filled topic to make sure that nobody in that expert audience would have a clue what he was talking about. It was a completely fresh slate. Now here's where it gets really wild. The actual content of his talk, it was complete and utter nonsense, pure gibberish. The study itself says he was told to use double talk, neologisms, non sequiturs, and contradictory statements. In other words, they literally told him to just make stuff up and sound smart while doing it. But, and this is the absolute key, while the words he was saying were total nonsense, the way he said them was incredible. He was charming, he was funny, warm, super charismatic. He's up there telling jokes, making great eye contact, and delivering this word salad with absolute, unshakable confidence. So, how did this room full of geniuses react? Well, after the talk, they were all given feedback forms, and the reviews? They were glowing. They called his lecture clear, stimulating, and even well-organized. Can you believe that? Not a single person in that room seemed to realize they had just been fed an hour of complete and total garbage. But, as you've probably figured out by now, there was just one tiny problem with all of this. Dr. Myron L. Fox wasn't a doctor. He wasn't an expert. He wasn't even a scientist. The guy on stage was an actor who knew absolutely nothing about mathematical game theory. The researchers had hired him and basically just told him, go out there and charm them. And that, my friends, is how this fascinating little quirk of our brains got its name. So let's put a formal definition on it. The Dr. Fox effect is what happens when a speaker is so charismatic and so engaging that their style completely masks the fact that their content is worthless. It's the power of a great performance to create this incredibly powerful illusion of learning. But this just raises a huge question, right? Why are we so susceptible to this? How does a whole room of smart, educated people get so completely duped? Well, it all boils down to the tricky psychology of perception. It's not just one thing, it's a whole cocktail of factors. See, our brains love to take shortcuts, and a charismatic speaker triggers a whole bunch of them. We're talking about things like the halo effect, how fluently they speak, even what they're wearing. Let's dig into these a bit. First up is something called the halo effect. This is a mental shortcut where if we like one thing about a person, say they seem really confident, our brain just kind of fills in the blanks and assumes everything else about them is great too. Like, oh, he's so charming, he must be brilliant. Dr. Fox's charisma created this massive halo that made his nonsense sound like genius. And you wouldn't believe how much the little details matter. Take what his speaker wears. Studies have actually shown that when a professor dresses formally, students see them as more competent. But if they dress casually, they're seen as friendlier for sure, but also less competent. Our brains are making these judgments before they even open their mouths. Then there's this idea researchers call lecture fluency. It just means a speaker who seems really polished. They stand tall, they don't stutter, they speak smoothly. We automatically give these people better ratings. But here's the kicker.
All that polish and fluency doesn't actually help students learn more. It just makes them feel like they learned more. It's a total illusion.
So this all leads to a really uncomfortable question. If our ratings of teachers and speakers are so easily swayed by style, are we actually measuring how good they are at teaching? Are we just grading their acting skills? And this is where it gets even more counterintuitive. A major study on calculus professors decided to test this exact question. And what they found? Well, it pretty much flips our whole idea of good teaching right on its head. Okay, so check this out. The study found something fascinating. The professors who were less experienced, they actually got higher ratings from students. And their students even did better on the first exam. But, and here's the huge twist, it was the students of the more experienced professors, the ones who got lower ratings, who performed way better in the next calculus course. So what on earth does that mean? Well, it suggests that the professors who were really pushing their students, giving them that deep, fundamental understanding that actually sticks with you, they were getting punished for it with bad reviews. The more entertaining or easier teachers got great ratings, even if their students retained less in the long run. So where does all this leave us? The big takeaway here is that the Dr. Fox effect is a powerful reminder that our minds can be easily seduced. It's a call to be more critical, to really think about the information we're getting, whether it's in a classroom, a work meeting, or just scrolling through videos online. And that's really the big question I want to leave you with. In a world jam-packed with polished presentations and charismatic personalities, it's more important than ever to hit pause. The next time you find yourself wowed by a speaker, just ask yourself this one simple question. Am I actually learning something here, or am I just being entertained?